There, so both that way. You and Murray can be on. You're live. There you go.
Good. Whoever might be out there, let me take this off and talk. Whoever might be out there, welcome to the Portage La Prairie School Board Trustees meeting of October the 13th. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that the Portage La Prairie School Division and our schools in our division are located on Treaty 1 land, as well as the traditional territory of the Ojibwe, Dakota, Cree, and Anishinaabe peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. Before we get to the formal agenda, once again, thank you to all of our staff and the efforts that are being put forward. We on Friday had an unfortunate situation. We were hoping that COVID would stay away from our schools, but it didn't. And I would like to thank Val Smith, the principal of North Memorial, Todd Cuddington, our superintendent, Pam Garnham, our assistant superintendent, for all of the work that they put in on the weekend, dealing with various protocols with health. I would also really like to thank our maintenance staff. Once we knew, they got into the school right away, and they went through all of the protocols that needed to be gone through to make sure that the school was sanitized. I can't say enough about those people who do those things every day for us, but especially with the North Memorial situation. So thank you to Val, the principal, to Todd, to Pam, and to all of our maintenance staff. Okay, if you would take in, Pam, please.
10-3-20, that the agenda for the meeting of October 13th, 2020 be approved.
Moved by Debbie, seconded by Tracy. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
10-4-20, that the minutes of the regular meeting of September 22nd, 2020 be approved.
Moved by Helen, seconded by Shauna Lee. All in favor? Carried.
10-5-20, that the following teachers be employed on a limited term teacher general contract. Amanda Eckford, 100% September 28, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. And Tammy Marshenko, 100% September 22nd, 2020, December 18th, 2020.
Moved by Murray, seconded by Debbie. I can't miss Penny. Gotta get Penny in here, but that'll be next. All in favor? Carried.
Cool.
Amanda is our grades 1 to 4 remote learning teacher for medically remote learning, and Tammy is at North Memorial. Amanda is actually based at Fort Laramie. We have a classroom for her at Fort Laramie, an office that we call classroom. 10-6-20, that the retirement of Marilyn Pacello, Supervisor of Transportation, be approved effective January 1st, 2021.
Moved by Penny, seconded by Helen. All in favor? Carried.
Okay, so I have one item on the agenda, and that is just October 23rd is MTS PD Day. So on October 23rd, teachers from across the province will be participating in MTS PD Day. Teachers from Portage will be attending workshops. Some will be attending workshops in person in Winnipeg and in Brandon. But most will be attending the workshops virtually through Zoom or Google. The administrators and coaches will be participating in a PD session at Stride Place here in Portage, and it's on teaching sprints and PLC 2.0. We have a presenter coming in. He's working in Brandon Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then he's making a stop here in Portage until he goes back. So we will be mindful of physical and social distancing, and masks will be worn at the PD session if they're less than 2 meters apart from one another, but they won't be because we're in the big room there. We're also, I think Jill, you're hosting a session. James Kostachuk's hosting a session. There's a few teachers that are hosting sessions as well in the community, so that's great to see our educational leaders. And so if they're not attending a session in person, the teachers will be conferencing at their schools. And the hope is that the teachers that are in similar workshops or in the same workshop, they will collaborate together when there's break times and stuff. And again, I've talked to the PTA PD committee. I've talked to the administrators and online administrators again tomorrow when we meet with them, that they're going to host a session at their school that they have made the health regulation rules. So safety first, but it's going to be an exciting day for our professional staff. It's going to be probably the most unique MTS PD day they've had ever, and they're getting, all of our staff seem to be accommodating to the Zoom type platform for coming in. When we had our presenter on the 6th, Shelley Moore, she came in through Zoom as well, coming from BC. So it's going to be an exciting day for them.
Thank you, Pam. Todd.
Okay, thanks. So as Rod has mentioned, we had our first confirmed case of COVID in our schools. This past Friday evening, we were informed and we initiated our steps for responding. And based on the work that had gone in previously, we were able to provide public health with all of the information they required as they began to reach out to our cohort families, students in our cohorts, and we were able to share the information publicly today, just in a letter of assurance to students and staff that all of the necessary steps have been taken to clean and disinfect the school, and we want to reassure families that, that what we've learned from public health is that it is contained within the cohort, and the students that were in that group are now isolating, but we want to get children back to school and to resume regular attendance as soon as possible. And I know there'll be naturally some anxiety for families, but we've done an excellent job so far as a division, to keep all the steps, taking all the steps to keep kids and staff safe. And I really do want to follow up on Rod's words and just thank the administration, Val Smith, principal, for the work she did, but also the staff today for coming back in and being ready to go first day back. They have some anxiety too, and our teachers and students have just done an outstanding job, not only at North Memorial but in all schools, making sure that they're following all these public health recommendations, and we just want to commend them for the work that they've done. And just, I guess the final word being, our school is safe, our division is safe. We'd like to have everyone back to regular in-person instruction as soon as possible. Okay, my second item is regarding International Teachers Day. Last week, around the world, International Teachers Day took place, and I think the fact that it came on the heels of the support staff recognition week that was the previous week, it's important that we recognize both of these events, and particularly this year where teachers are pivoting to a completely different reality and have just done it so well. I mean, from the time that COVID struck and pandemic was called, teachers and support staff have been nothing but professional, and they're just doing things on the fly. They've just done an outstanding job, whether it was the remote learning or, reassuring kids, reassuring families, putting all of these extra steps in place. And really this year, more than ever, I think we just really have to tip our hat to all of the people working in our schools for just what an outstanding job that they've done, making our schools welcoming places and getting kids back. I mean, we're in a historic time. We've seen anything like this before, but our teachers and our support staff, I mean, they've just gone up and beyond. So I think both of these weeks really we should pay a great give a great pat on the back to all these individuals for what they're doing. And I know from our board how much they appreciate it, but I just wanted to pass that on to the public as well. My number 4 item is regarding the continuous improvement planning. It took place last week. Our division, like school divisions all across the province, always are looking to, improve and raise our standards and in support of children. And our continuous improvement plan is a document that we publish on our website, and a tremendous amount of time and effort goes into this, and nothing that you could think of would be related to education that isn't touched on in this document. And so we have learned that this year, because of COVID, that the continuous improvement planning document is not being required to be posted and submitted to the province, but the division always makes this a priority here in Portage, and we're going to continue to post for our public. And so last week we met with a number of stakeholders, and we went through this document, and we've been refining it, and a lot of time and effort's gone into that. Very soon we'll have that document available for the public, and they can access it. And certainly if they have any questions, they can contact the division office, and we can certainly provide them with more detail if they have any questions. And then my last item is just the Excellence in Education nominations. Every year, the nomination process happens around this time, and we have a number of very worthy teachers who are working in our division. So I just want to highlight that process. I know it's been sent out to all of the trustees, and certainly the public, and posters have been posted in all of our schools for anyone who wishes to take the time to select a professional or teacher who is touched their lives and made a difference in their lives, and we want to recognize them through this nomination process. And so if you have any questions about that, again, you have a teacher that's been an important part of your life and you want to nominate them for this excellence award, we can provide more information about that. There's lots of worthy people who certainly would be deserving of that award. Those are my items.
Thank you, Todd. There are a couple of things that I was remiss to begin with, and one of them I couldn't say about until we had the motion, but Marilyn Michello, who has been our transportation supervisor for as long as 27 years, okay, for as long as I can remember, for a long time, and we'd like to thank Marilyn for all of the time and effort that she has put in. It looks like it should be an easy job to throw people on the bus and away you go with a couple of bus drivers, but it isn't. It's a very complicated setting up schedules and making sure you've got people and setting up trips, which we're not doing now, but it has been just great having Marilyn in that position, and we're going to very much miss her. The other thing that I usually do at the beginning of the meeting is to mention that all of our trustees are virtual through Google Meets or around the table. I'd just like to run through the trustees so that everybody knows their names and who they are. We've got Murray McClanahan, Luna, Helen Hogarth, Penny Burway, Debbie Satulski, Tracy Asham, Yvette Cuthbert, but we also have, and me, we also have our senior staff in Todd Cuddington, Rochelle Rands, Pam Garnham, and Jonathan Hyman. So, did I miss Shauna Lee? No, I couldn't have missed Shauna Lee. Well, she might not be here. Well,
Yes,
all of the trustees are here. All of the 9 trustees have been here, either here or virtually, for all of our meetings this pandemic took place. Information items, and again, to the trustees. It's, again, not an easy time. Information items, email copies that have been sent out. There's a newsletter from Oakville School that was passed around. Just want to mention upcoming meetings. Of course, we have our normal board meetings, but there are also 2 other meetings that are on there, and that is the MSBA fall general meeting, and normally in the last couple of years that has been held in Winnipeg. All of the trustees from the province get together. That's going to be done via Skype or Zoom or one of those, and that's November the 21st from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, and then on November the 24th we have a regional MSBA meeting. And again, that's going to be done in the same way, and that'll be from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. And as I said, all of the other meetings are listed for the board. And I'm going to turn it over to Pam to introduce longtime member of the Portage Prairie teaching staff, Jill Fast.
So I'd like to welcome Jill Fast this evening. After our last meeting when we talked about our short day and land-based learning, I thought it'd be good if Jill would came in and talked about what she did on our short day and talk about land-based learning for everyone. So thank you, Jill, for to come in. And so welcome.
Thank you. You want me to hold that? I don't know. Or what do you think? Do we need it? I thought you were talking about pointing at the camera or something.
No.
Oh, okay.
What I'll do,
Oh, you're.
yeah, I've got pointed
What does
there.
that mean? Okay. Okay. Is this?
Yeah.
So, yeah. First started AAA in 2014. Seems, I don't know already. So yeah, just education in our school division. For Orange Shirt Day, actually not just this year, but the year before and the year, I have been reading books to the K to 8s. So each grade, I kind of picked a different book so that it's age appropriate and that you get to read a different book each year, right? So this year, because I usually go from school to school, I decided to do via video. So I had all the grade 1s log in one day, same time, grade 2s and 1. So it was over 3.5 days of reading still. I got good feedback from that too. I also this year I made follow-up activities for each book for teachers can use after reading the book. And I also made residential school videos. I thought this would be a good year to do that because then teachers can choose when they want to show the video and they can use it for not just this year, but next year, the year after, and years to come. So I made a K to 4 residential school video, a grade 9 to 12, a grade 5 to 8, kind of a blank orange shirt video message. And we made a specific one it was kind of in partnership with PCRC and the Portage School Division, Orange Shirt Day video message. I also gave the teachers scripts of those videos. And all these resources can be found on the Google Drive website that we have. So let's see. This is the Google Drive website. Yeah, that I made, I want to say at least 3 or 4, however long we've kind of been using Google and sharing it. So under lesson plan ideas by topic, I have all the different topics that teachers can access to, not just for Orange Shirt Day, but for other resources too. So here's all the Orange Shirt Day ones. Again, you can watch the videos from here too. If any of you want to be added to this folder, send your name to Pam or Todd, and I can add to, if you want to explore any of the resources on because all teachers access this too, so that's pretty neat. Now, I don't know if we want to, because we made an Orange Shirt Day video message. It's 3 minutes long. I don't know if we want to watch it now or if I share the link with you. What's the feeling in the room? Let's watch it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the 3 people in the video, myself, Jacinda Houle, who is in grade 12 at PCI, and Cornell Pache, who is the City of Portage's Indigenous liaison. So. And it's on, we put it on PCI channel 1. So really anyone could go in and kind of watch it. So that's good. See if there's volume.
Orange Shirt Day began in Williams Lake, British Columbia in 2013 and has since spread to schools across Canada. Orange Shirt Day is held on September 30th of every year. It is a day to honor residential school survivors, their families, and their communities.
Hello, my name is Jacinda Houle. I'm currently a grade 12 student at Portage Collegiate Institute. Orange Shirt Day is important to me because both my grandparents and great-grandparents both attended residential schools. I think it's important for the youth to be educated on Orange Shirt Day because the impact is still being felt today. For me, I think it's important to go back to the language and the culture, and that's why I like to dance and try to be a good role model for others.
Hello, my name is Cornell Pashe. I'm a Dakota student from Dakota TV First Nation, and I'm currently the Indigenous Coordinator for Portage Revitalization Corporation in the city of Portage la Prairie. Orange T-shirt Day to me is a reminder of the time for our people, our Indigenous, the tragedies of residential school, the past, and there are so many stories about residential school that are told to us, and it was a time where it was good to be Indigenous because those that experienced that lost their language, they lost their culture, they lost their heritage, and as a result, the legacy of it all, when we're still trying to climb ourselves out from that past, and it's tragic and traumatizing for most. And Orange T-shirt Day is held on September 30th of each year to honor those Indigenous children who were sent away to residential school, and just to remind everyone that every child matters, and that every child matters as we continue to focus our hope for a better future for those children, and to help empower those children as they move into the future. So in the spirit of Orange Shirt Day, just to show that you care, it would be nice for individuals to honor that request, and to also to wear orange that represents the experience that they went through.
The spirit of Orange Shirt Day is to show that you care. Please take time today to reflect. Try and do something to show that you care.
So because schools weren't allowed to do school assemblies, right? That's the reason why we did the video message, and 312 views. It's on PCI channel, so it's kind of a way that community members can watch too. The other videos I was talking about are only on our Google Drive. They're not on YouTube, so just the message. Yeah, I got good feedback from Orange Shirt Day and the resource. So even with COVID, I think we're able to do it pretty. And Pam and I will get the Lane Orange Shirt Day ceremony. So they've been having it, I think this was their 3rd year, so they did a really good job with that too. So, okay, so land-based education is something I've gone to PDs on, and I've encouraged, but I haven't really got into as much as I want to have. So I thought with COVID, and it's better to be outside right now too, let's embrace it. So right now I've just done Crescent School. I'm scheduled to go to Oakville Thursday, Yellowpool Friday, La Verendre the next week, Rain the week after, Arthemia the next week. So Crescent View School has a really nice setup. They have kind of an outdoor classroom. I'm going to visit the other schools too to see what they have too. And yeah, like a lot of it is just getting kids to spend time in nature. It sounds like, oh, you have to do this, but land-based can actually be really simple. And the biggest thing is kids like tapping into their curiosity, right? And I got a really book called got a good book called Natural Curiosity, the second edition. And it talks all about inquiry-based learning, experiential learning, land-based learning. So a lot of the advice from that book is just letting the kids lead, letting them explore. And the idea is that the more time they spend outside, more environmentally conscious they'll be as adults, right? So the more likely they'll recycle, their consumer choices, their mental, physical health, spending time outside. So we did a lot with the 5 senses. So, okay, go see nature, come back. Okay, you saw nature up close, go feel nature. Okay, come back. After exploring, go smell nature, go listen to nature. It's really cool with the, especially the young kids. They're so innocent, right? And it's pretty neat what they get out of it. So here's another picture of them just really looking closely at nature. And yeah, because I guess with Indigenous cultures, they talk about how in their worldview, everything has a spirit. So I was mindful of not using the word spirit, but still getting the point across. So instead I said, this place is alive, right? You feel the grass, feel the ground. There's living creatures, plants and animals everywhere, right? Big and small. Even like myself, like looking at grass up close and like using your fingers to really like look at it, see what's underneath the grass, right? Why is it so wet? Why is it cold? Why are there leaves? What happens to the leaves, right? Here, they each picked a tree and they were told, spend time with your tree. I think I gave them 1 or 2 minutes. Just, you could do whatever you want. You could talk to your tree, you can hug your tree, you can look at your tree. So it's just developing those connections. And then we progressed to exploring a more wooded area. And some of the schools are really lucky have, you know, that natural setting already. So yeah, they definitely enjoyed the exploring part. And yeah, that's the land-based. Are there any questions with land-based? That if I double click would go backwards. Any questions with land-based?
What was the takeaway from the kids? How did they give you some feedback on the experience? Even during, right? That how do you say it? Evidence and anecdotal evidence of like nature's awesome. Like, so yeah, they loved it. Yeah.
Hey, Jill. Did you
Oh, yeah.
Those nice hay bales that you had for your nephew?
Yeah. Land-based this week. Number 2 with nephew.
Awesome.
I don't have pictures up here, but yeah. Okay. Any questions about land-based? So I'm hoping that you know, we could do the ones in the fall. I could go back with the same kids in the winter when there's snow, spring, June in the summer, right? So we could see how it changes during the seasons too. I thought I'd also talk about the road reconciliation. Last board meeting in November, I was looking at the PowerPoint that I shared with you, and I talked about the idea. I'm excited to say that we did do it in February. So right before COVID hit, we did a group of grade 7 students from all of the 4 schools, and I also included some high school students as role models. Some of those high school students being from Long Plain too. And we basically went out to Long Plain and we learned about what is it like on a First community. So we had students, this group, we met at PCI first, and we basically, to kind of prep them before they go, we broke some stereotypes and talked about reconciliation and did some group work activities. Some of the kids had never been to a First Nation community. Some had family that lived in one, some had lived in one, some didn't. So we had a good mix of kids, Indigenous and non-Indigenous. This is the breaking stereotypes activity we did, where you write the stereotype on the side of the balloon, And then inside you put the answer or the facts, I guess, you pop it. That's from the Treaty Relations Commission activity, so. And then this is when we were at Long Plain School with Education Director Bill Beauchamp, and they were just great hospitality on our visit to Long Plain. Great food, they fed us really well. So this is a map of Long Plain, kind of the main places there. So the first day we spent the whole morning at the school and we had lunch there. We got to play in their gym. They gave us a tour of the school. And then in the afternoon, we went to the band office to learn about chief and council and their meetings. We went to the Resplex, saw the hockey rink and stuff. And then we stopped at the grocery store before going home on the first day. The second day, we started at the Urban Reserve in Portage, the Quiche. We got to go inside the new hotel. The kids loved seeing the pool and the hotel rooms and stuff. Then we went to the MISC and saw Arrowhead Development Corporation, Plain Employment and Training. We went to the Residential School Museum for a tour. Then we had lunch at Spirit Lodge, which is kind of like a community center, but it's more for community gatherings. It would be more of a cultural center, but it's a community gathering place. And they have a restaurant called the Crossing Cafe, so they catered and we ate there. We went to Res Radio, which is in the same building as the police and fire hall. Went to the health center. They liked seeing the Manitoba Station Police Detachment because they have 2 holding cells there and they have quads and police trucks, so they like that part too. And then we also went to Jordan's Principal too, so it was pretty good. I got 2 students from the high school to film and take pictures, and they still have that footage, but then COVID happened like immediately after, so they said that they're gonna work on it for me. They're in grade 11, they're in grade 12 now. Both from Long Plain too. They're both in our video classes. Hopefully we can figure out this, edit it, and then we'll definitely share it with everyone because it was pretty good, experience. So yeah, thought I'd share since I brought it up at the last meeting. But any questions about anything? Orange Shirt Day, land-based, or Road to Reconciliation, we called it.
So do you do any land-based with the high school students?
Yeah, we're hoping to in November. We have someone in mind that we'll bring in too. We're hoping to do it with some of the grade 9 pods, and we're hoping to book a bus and go off campus or off-site and doing labs with the high school too. So
Is there also a plan with the roving campus as well?
yeah, I've already partnered with Roving Campus for land-based stuff. October 20th, next week Tuesday, or a week from today, it's in the works. It's planned right now that they're going to go to Dakota Teepee and set up a teepee. So that's one of the bit of like exercise at Island Park outside. So yeah, I'm partnering a lot with Roving Campus too. Yeah.
Will there be some like survival skills and stuff like that?
Hopefully with the grade 9 pods. Yeah. Yeah. So with that, they're land-based. Yeah.
Who would you work with? Is it someone from the community? Or?
Yep. Scott Thornsteinson is who we're working with right now. So he works at Dakota Teepee right now. So, and he's done lots, he has a master's in social work. So we're hoping he'll do our land-based for the grade 9s. It's actually Michelle McIver, outreach facilitator. Me and him are planning it right now. So yeah.
Any questions?
Sounds very good, Joe.
Good, thank you. And like I said, if you want to check out that Google Drive, you need a Google email address, I think?
They all have one.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, but if you want to look at, I think there's a way to find it, but it's easier if I manually add people based on who's interested. I've done that with teachers too, so.
I came across a unexpected results kind of thing on Netflix,
Yeah,
watching Anne with an E.
okay,
And the last season has her meeting some Micmac
Yeah.
family and the whole residential, like the girl asking, well, should I go to school? And Anne's going, yeah, for sure. It's
Yeah.
really fun, you know, and then she goes and.
Yeah.
No, I thought they did a great job of
oh,
it.
good, yeah, right on.
Well, thank you for coming in, Jill. I have to say, I'm quite impressed. I gave her that pen this afternoon and figured she's the only one other than myself that has ever used it as a clicker.
Oh, wait, just spell double click to go backwards, whatever.
So,
Well done.
Maybe it's
Very, very impressed.
Thanks. Oh, it's all, that's what it is. Yeah.
Hey, Jill, congratulations on the technology piece. too.
Thanks.
yeah.
Like you've incorporated that
Yeah.
with the remote,
Yeah.
it's fantastic
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, good job.
Thank you, Jill.
Hey,
Thanks a
thank
lot.
Or do I have to, if I exit out, will it, or have to manually?
You just have to disconnect.
Yeah.
At the top there.
No, I don't.
Okay, I guess we're down to you, Joshua.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is
Yeah.
there somebody or something that you want to deal with?
I guess if I could talk to Todd about the COVID, and we'll talk about some other things, and then I guess if I could just quickly get Jill for the land-based story.
Maybe
And
we'll let Jill go
We'll let
first.
Jill go and.
and then I'll contact you
Yeah.
next week about PD Day, we know the drill of this.
Yeah.
Look at us, finally getting the system down, it only took us a year.
Better late than never, right?
Exactly.
Hey,
Thank
you,
you,
Jill.
Jill.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jill.
okay, see ya.
I didn't have